FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is my channel, Lady Robins. I appreciate you being here. I'm glad we can spend a little stitchy time together. It is Tuesday, it is February 1st, and I have an FFO to show you. I am really thrilled to show you that. So we're going to look at not an FFO, an FO, sorry, finished object. And I'm going to take it out to be fully finished here after I film my floss tube. So we've got an FO, we've got whips, we've got whip go, some haul, I've got some things to share. So we've got a lot of stuff to do. Today, I think I already said, is the 1st of February, and I'm not 100% sure if this is 104 or 105. It doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? It's whatever number it is. I also am completely unprepared. I do not have a mug of the day in front of me. I have got like 30 minutes to film right now. I might have to break this up into 2 filmings and splice them together. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to show you my finished object because I am going to take it to the framer. So I wanted to get that on camera because when I leave the house in about 30 minutes, it's going with me. So I thought I'm just gonna get what I can get filmed now, and then we can come back and finish up with a second filming, and I'll do a little editing. So if you are new here, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch. My name is Robin. You can find me also on Instagram, same name, Lady Robin, so you can follow me there as well. If you're a returning friend and subscriber, welcome back. I am thrilled to have you here with me today. We have got a beautiful day here in the Seattle area. It is A, not raining, B, not cloudy, and C, my recycling got picked up, so we do not have trash all over the neighborhood. So this is a great day for us here in Seattle. All right, you guys, I have to show you, I finished Mom's birthday present. I finished it, and I'm not kidding, I finished it 2 hours ago. So let me show you what I got done. I have been working on one of the Sunday stitches by HeartString Samplery, the old rugged cross. So I finished it yesterday. I just thought, this is ridiculous. Mom's birthday is on Saturday, and I am just gonna have to go crazy and just stitch on this piece because I've got to get it finished. I can't have this hanging around forever. So without further ado, here is the old rugged cross. This is stitched for my mom's birthday. Her birthday is Saturday, February 5th. So here we go. This is stitched on linen, hand-dyed linen from BeStitchMe. It's called Mocha. This is 32 count, and I stitched it 2/2, and I changed out the color of the flower. Mom's favorite color is blue. So let me show you. Let me grab it here. The blues that I changed. So I changed just the color of the flower. So the blue is 3760. I hope my camera will focus on that. So that's the blue. And then the center, I went with 742. So those are my 2 changes on the old rugged cross. And I will be taking this down to Village Framing and Gallery in Des Moines, Washington, which is the next little town over from me. They have a really good framer there. I think it's a she, is excellent in terms of stretching and getting all the wrinkles out. I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. I actually have, if you can believe it, I have ironed it, but it sure doesn't look like it. But anyway, there is my FO, my finished object that is going off to the framers. I will try to take pictures of it when I give it to Mom for her birthday. So yay, that will be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing that I did wrong is I stitched Amazing Grace for Mom, same series, the Sunday Stitches from HeartString Samplery, and I'm going to use the same frame. I forgot to write down the dimensions. So I'm actually heading over to Mom and Dad's place in about half an hour, and I'm going to steal Amazing Grace off the wall and take it with me to Village Frame and Gallery so they can match the size, because I didn't write it down and I'm betting they didn't either. So hopefully Mom won't freak out when I steal her piece back. So there we go, one last look at the old rugged cross. So there you have it. Looks good, right? I think she's gonna be thrilled. All right, so that is my finished object. I did have some other things that I stitched on this week. I have been working on the May piece from Snowflower Diaries, which is a freebie, and I'll flash you the chart here. And it's got the cat and a kitten and all these wonderful flowers and a cute little bird. This is my 25/7 piece. Now, I have not stitched on this since Sunday. I didn't stitch on it yesterday. When I picked up the old rugged cross, just so you know how much stitching I did yesterday, I had on this side, I had finished these five leaves, right? Everything else, the two flowers, and then all the way down the side, and then this little border across the bottom, all of that I did yesterday, all of it. I started stitching at 9 a.m. and when I put the piece down at 10 p.m. Now, of course, you know, I didn't stitch the whole, you know, without stopping. I mean, there was a little laundry that had to be done. There was some dinner that had to be made. But anyway, I mean, I just had the tiniest bit to finish up this morning so I could get it done. Anyway, because of that, I have not touched my Snowflower Diary May piece for a couple of days. And this is my 25/7 stitching piece. And I just give you a brief overview of 25/7 stitching. It is where you take a piece and, you know, maybe you're gunning for a finish, right? Because I'd really like to get this guy finished, and I'm kind of sad that it's February and I still am not done. But anyway, you pick it up, you're supposed to stitch on it 7 days a week for 25 minutes, or 7 days a week for 25 stitches. You decide what the 25 is. So anyway, this is to help kind of move you towards a finish on a piece. Well, what happened was I was stitching my 25/7 on this, and I realized I made a goof. And so I had almost the entire top border completed when I noticed that, hey, this isn't lining up right. What have I done? Well, on the pattern, what I had done is I had left off these 5 stitches down here, which meant when I put that in, this border was almost right on top of the M in May. There was no way to fudge it, so I had to take out almost the entire top border and redo it. So that's why I'm behind, because I think that was probably maybe 2 days of 25/7 stitching that I had to back out, and then I've had 2 days where I haven't worked on it. So this guy is definitely not getting the love it deserves. So this week, now that Mom's piece is done, I think this evening when I stitch, I think I'll just stitch on this. I think I will try to make up for my missing 25/7, because this guy deserves a finish. He's super cute. And then from there, I don't know if I'm going to go back and do February, because I haven't stitched February, or if I'm going to just keep moving forward and go for June. Haven't decided yet. But whatever I decide, I will let you know. I will let you know on next FlossTube. So that's the status of my 25/7 stitching. And then in terms of whips, I worked on Harbor Haven. Let me show you Harbor Haven. Is that right here? Yes. One second here. Okay, so Harbor Haven is part of my Whip Go. And in case you haven't heard of Whip Go, you build yourself a board. You know, 5 by 5, there's 25 squares in there, and then each month 2 squares are called. And so whatever you've got in those squares is what you stitch on, and you decide what your goals for those pieces are. I just do 5 days a week, or 5 days a month on each. So that's 10 days of stitching that I devote to Whip Go. However, you can make it whatever you want. If you want to put down 7 days of stitching on each of these pieces, go for it. If you want to push for a finish on something, go for it. If you just want to touch it once, go for it. Get the gist here? Whip Go is whatever you want it to be, however you want to work on your stitching. So for me, I've just put down 5 days, and that has worked out pretty well for me. So what I am doing here on Harbor Haven is, now Harbor Haven's huge, you guys. There are 12 charts. I was able to complete my goal of finishing chart number 2 during Whip Go, which was pretty much the middle of that tree and then over to the edge of the building here, right? And then I think when I finished that, that was 3 days of stitching. And now I am starting on chart number 3. And chart number 3 looks like this. So I'm over here. So I'm kind of working this bottom bit, and then I'll move up. So that's chart number 3. So I'm super happy with how far I got on this piece in January, but it's nowhere close to a finish. Since there's 12 charts. This was a stitch along, and you were supposed to stitch 1 chart every month. I'm glad that this stitch along is no longer happening, and I don't have the pressure of that, but at the same time I need to stitch a little bit more on it, because you know, it'll be 2030 before I finish it at the rate I'm stitching. But anyway, there is my Harbor Haven, and this is being stitched on 32 count sea foam colored linen by weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the old weeks, so it's pretty floppy. But there you have it. It was the color I wanted, and I was willing to just go with the floppy weeks to get that color. So that is what I got up to on Harbor Haven. So my Whip Go, I decided, because I have quite a number of great big amazing projects that are my whips, and I decided to put all my big whips on my Whip Go, or at least, you know, whips that really need some love. But Harbor Haven is one of the biggest. Anyway, I put all of those on my Whip Go board twice. So everything is going to get touched at least twice throughout the year, and hopefully we'll make some big progress. Who knows? I might even go nuts and, you know, grab one of these whips and get them finished up this year, because I'd really like to get a number of these off my whip shelf because I have too many. They make me anxious. they make me anxious knowing that I've got that many whips. Anyway, so that was where I got to on Harbor Haven. My other Whip Go piece is right here. Let me grab it. The other Whip Go piece for me in January was Hyperborea by Owl Forest, and I know I've shown this before, And here's where I ended at the end of January. So remove my needle minders, click, click, so you can see where I got to on this guy. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. So I think when last we got together, I think I had just finished that tree. And now what I was able to get done is I finished that motif, and then this is the top of a building, and then I don't know if that's a woolly mammoth, but that's what I think it is. I think it's a woolly mammoth, so I got the woolly mammoth finished. So I'm plugging away. I'm plugging away on this. This was a kit, and so I know the fabric is 32 count Zweigart blue, deep blue linen, and then of course I'm using all of the over dyed flosses that came with the kit from Owl Forest. So that's where I got to on on Hyperborea. So this is just all sorts of fun to stitch on that owl. Man, that owl is everything, don't you think? Woo, love it. So that is what I got up to for that whip go piece. And then the other thing that I got up to this week is I dusted off something that is on my whip go board. I'll get to it later later this year, but I dusted off my Frankenstein SAL from the Stitching Book Club, and it doesn't look like much, you guys. I thought I was gonna get all sorts of progress. I got SBC for Stitching Book Club put in here, but what I'm really excited about is one of you beautiful viewers, Bronny, thank you. Bronny reached out to me because I told you when I was stitching Frankenstein, I put an extra stitch in that end. And so it's throwing off this chart. Bronny sat down and recharted it. You know, she has put in an extra stitch in the middle of this motif so it will line up. It's perfect. I can hardly wait to do Bronny's suggestion. I have printed it out. It's sitting on my printer. Bronny, you are a peach. Thank you for that. So I can hardly wait to get that corrected with Bronny's help and then keep going, because this is this is I think one of the best charts she has created after Secret Garden. Secret Garden is my all-time favorite piece that she has charted, but honestly I think Frankenstein is my second favorite, because all of the little motifs are just classic parts of that book. And I mean, she nailed it. You know, there's the lightning, and then of course, you know, the boat that brings him over to live. I mean, it's just perfect. She really thought it through. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting some time in on Frankenstein. And like I said, this is on my whip go board, so I will get to work on this twice. But the cool part about this is it's only one color, so you don't have to do lots of color swapping. I mean, you know, you just pick one color and away you go. And my color, I have picked DMC 935 as my color. So this is also a 32 count fabric. This is Vellum by Picture This Plus, and I love this color. So I'm actually really glad that this isn't a huge piece, because I'll have plenty of that Vellum fabric left over. So that was an unexpected whip. I thought I was gonna have tons of time to work on this because I picked up my parents and I took them over to the nail salon to get them pedicures, because I don't know how old people cut their toenails, but it's hard, you know, bending over and all that stuff, and you know, your joints are a little bit stiffer than when you were younger. And so I have just gotten into the habit of picking them up every couple of months and taking them off to the pedicure place. So I thought, well, they're gonna sit there and get their toes done. I'm checking my time here. And I thought, well, I'll just be able to stitch, and I wanted something that was, you know, a single color. And so that's why I picked up Frankenstein. So anyway, I got 3 little letters in, SBC. That was as far as it went, but that's okay. It was fun because in a way it kind of sparked a conversation when I was at the nail salon with other people beyond just my parents, and so they got to have conversations with people other than me. So I thought it's a benefit. It's a benefit for them to get out into their community and talk to people that they don't see on a regular basis. So I just, you know, I'm not mad that I only got 3 little letters stitched. And of course we have to talk about, you know, my crazy headgear. You know, I have to wear this thing when I'm stitching, so you know, I look like a crazy person when I'm sitting there stitching, but I don't care. It like I said, it sparks a conversation. It's all good. It's all good. So I think I'm gonna pause because I do have to get over and pick up my parents. Dad's got our doctor's appointment, so we gotta get that taken care of, and then I'll be back and we'll continue. So I will see you in just a second. Okay. Hi, FlossTube. I'm back. I have goofed around. I've done the things with mom and dad, so I'm here to finish up the video. But I thought I'd tell you, this is FlossTube number 105. I did have a chance to check my notes, and because I know you were dying that I didn't start out with a mug of the day, why don't we start this part with a mug of the day? I have got this guy. This is Kansas City. So we are drinking diet ginger ale at this point in the day, and I love this stuff. In fact, one of my favorite things to do with the diet ginger ale is put like the raspberry syrups that you would make Italian sodas with. I love putting that in those, so that might happen after this video. Okay, so here we are, second half of the video. What I thought I would do at this point is show you the 2 pieces that were called for February Whip Go, and I've got them right here, so let me grab them and I'll show you where I'm starting this month, and then I'll be amazed where I get to by the end of the month, right? But of course, February is such a short month, I'll really have to be on my game. So this is the Stitching Book Club Little Women. So there is the cover sheet for Little Women, and I'll show you where I am at on that guy. And it's not as far as I would like. So this is where I'm at on Little Women. So I've just got that top bit done. I've got little and the W in women. That's it. So I definitely need some good stitching time on this one. And I was just checking. I feel yep, I've got a tag in here. This is being stitched on 28 count ivory Jobelin. So there you have it, 28 count. And I'm doing all the called for flosses. I've seen a number of people customize their piece with beads and smeared acrosses, and I don't know if I'm going to do any of that, but it's kind of intriguing. So we'll see what I get up to this month on Little Women. So that's one of my my stitching plans for February. And then the other one that was called is Quaker Turtle, and I think I talked about that last week. I'm so excited to have an opportunity to stitch on Quaker Turtle. And let me just break out the chart for you. So this is a big guy. It's like 320 long. It's a monster. But it's a beautiful monster and I love it. So here we are on Quaker Turtle, and somewhere on here, okay, here's my little thread telling me this is the top of my fabric. So this is one of the flippers here, and this is one of the main body parts, and then if I'm not mistaken, I believe the head will go right there if I've got that oriented correctly. Now I've got to tell you, one of our friends who is also stitching Quaker Turtle, it was her January Whip Go call, reached out to me and told me that she stitched it and has got a complete redo on her hands. So I feel terrible. I don't want to shout your name out because that's not fair, but she had a big old oops on Quaker Turtle, so she's going to restart it and then keep going with us. But that's my second whip go, and I told her a story so that she knows that I can completely empathize with making a huge mistake. And my story, this is when I was a really new cross stitcher, and this was back in the airline days when I was stitching while I was taking reservations, and I was doing a table runner for my sister. And it was supposed to, you know, have a mirror image on each end of the table runner, and my sister loves nutcrackers. And so I had finished all the nutcrackers, and I think there were 4 or 5 on the pattern. And so I had finished one end, and then when I went to do the other end, I flipped my fabric upside down and I didn't know it. And so I started stitching on what would have been the bottom side of the fabric. And the only reason I didn't get the entire thing stitched was one of my friends at work said, "Hey, can I see that, can I see the other side where you finished it?" And I'm like, "Sure." And that was back in the day when I used scroll rods. So I had rolled the fabric on the rod upside down. So I unrolled it, and it was like, wait, what? This doesn't make any, and you know, because then I had the, you know, the back side when I unrolled it was sitting there looking at us. And it wasn't until I, you know, took the scroll rods completely apart, and here I am. I'm at work, you guys. I was supposed to be taking calls, and we're unrolling this thing and unrolling this thing, and figure out that yeah, I had flipped the fabric upside down, and I was at least through the second nutcracker, if not starting on the third nutcracker. I almost had to go home. I mean, I like almost had a panic attack. I know that there were tears, and there might have been cursing. You know, there might have been cursing. Yeah, and so in the end, there was absolutely no way to salvage it. And so I probably waited for 2 days, and I ended up taking my rotary cutter and I just zipped it off. Yeah. I had to completely cut it off. So the table runner was shorter now than I wanted it to be. Plus, I wasn't going to be able to finish it in time for Christmas. So I was surrounded by experienced cross stitchers, and so somebody somewhere came up with kind of a Christmassy looking, you know, little swaggy thing with, you know, poinsettias and something that matched the colors that were in the nutcrackers. And so instead of having nutcrackers on either end, I had nutcrackers on one side and kind of this floral, swirly, Christmas colory you know, design on the other end. So yeah, I gotta tell you, I have made some big boo-boos in my life, and that's one of them. But you want to know the crazy thing about all that is my sister, she loved it. That, I mean, you know, that's the part that's great, is my sister loved it. Every Christmas she put it out on her table until probably about 15 years ago. And suddenly it was no longer on her table. And, you know, I didn't want to pry, and, you know, maybe she got tired of it or whatever. And finally I couldn't stand it. I'm like, Mary, where is the, you know, the Nutcracker table runner? And she burst into tears, is what I remember. And she had some candles that were sitting on it, and the candles dripped. And of course they couldn't be white candles, they were like greens and reds, and they dripped on it and they ruined it. So that piece had a very short life, I'm sad to say. So anyway, there you go. There's a blast from the past. And what's interesting is I actually came across that pattern in, oh gosh, what's that magazine? Cross Stitch and Country Crafts or something like that. I ran across that pattern because I stitched, it was from one of those, you know, famous magazines from the 80s and the 90s. And yeah, I found that pattern again, and I thought it would be fun to maybe stitch her a couple of nutcrackers, but you know, like little pillows or something that a candle wouldn't sit on. Oh my gosh, we'll have to see. Anyway, let me have some more beverage here. Okay, so now that we've talked about my whip go, those are my plans. I'm going to definitely stitch on whip go. The other thing that I'm going to get back to is my waffle lot from Hands On Design. I am totally going to finish it, and it won't be done in time for Valentine's Day, and I don't care. I just want to finish it and work on that mattress finish. In fact, it's right here. And in case you're new here, I'm suspecting there might be somebody that hasn't seen this. This was in a Black Needle Society box last year, and it's just being released to everybody right now. So anyway, there's the waffle lot. And I'm just gonna restart that band where I had the goof. See, goofs are definitely a part of my stitching journey. And let's see, here's the front, and there's the back, and I'm just gonna restart the band. And even though it won't be done in time for Valentine's Day this year, I'll have it for next year. So I definitely am going to get going on that. And then the other thing that I need to finish is my January Bird Crush Club bird. It's the Stellar's J. I don't see it on my shelf. It must be out in the other room, so I won't flash that at you. So I definitely want to have 2 finishes in February. I want to finish Waffle Lot, and I want to finish the January Bird Crush, the Stellar's J. So I'm kind of putting those on my radar. So I really have 4 things that I want to concentrate on in February. However, there's a couple other things that are going to happen in February. I'm definitely going to be starting the Red Bird Sampler by Brenda Gervais for my birthday on February 15th. Join me for the SAL on the Red Bird Sampler by Brenda Gervais. And crazily enough, I don't see that pattern. I thought I'd pulled it, but I guess I didn't, but that's okay. We're gonna start that together. It'll be super fun. And we've got a hashtag. It's Red Robin Sal, and Robin spelled R-O-B-Y, and the way I spell it. And one of you clever viewers suggested that we put the year on the end so that we can keep track in case I want to use that hashtag again for something different next year. So why don't we just make that amendment, Red Robin Sal 2022. So that will be our official hashtag for that. Okay, you guys, I got so many lovely comments last week about how much you are enjoying me telling you what I'm reading. So I thought I'm just going to continue that. I finished the audiobook that I was listening to last week, which was The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman, and that's part of the Thursday Murder Club. So I finished that off, and so I picked out a new audiobook, and let's see if I can pull that up for you, and I'm totally digging it. Let's see. Hopefully it won't start playing on us. Okay. Here we go. Library. Yeah. It might start playing. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, so here it is. I don't know if I can squish that so it will be bigger. Well, let's just go with it. It is this. I am reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And so if you remember the book The Martian or the movie The Martian with Matt Damon, it's the same author. And this is one fantastic science fiction book. I am loving it. Yesterday I stitched on the Old Rugged Cross for Mom all day long so I could finish it, and I listened to Project Hail Mary while I was stitching. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So if you need an audiobook, I would highly recommend Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I am still reading Caught Red-Handed by Ellie Alexander in the Bake Shop Mystery Series. So that's my physical book I'm reading. I'm still reading that. Hope to finish that sometime this week. I think I've got 100 pages left, something like that. And then we'll see where I go after that. I don't have any plans, any big plans after that. But those are the two things that I'm reading right now and enjoying both of them. Let's see here. Haul. I have some haul. So let me gather it up real quick and we can go through that. And let's see here. Here we go. Okay, so one of the things that that came almost as the video and as I recorded the video last week was my Black Needle Society Happy Hour Stitching with 2 Martini Stitcher. This is a really fun box, and let me just tell you, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. There's a couple unboxings out there, but let me at least show you the pattern. The pattern is by Ink Circles, and I am thoroughly looking forward to stitching that. Look at that. Isn't that great? It looks like a clock, and it's really super cute. We've got great seraphim fabric, and we've got floss, and there's a couple other things in here which are super fun. If you want a complete unboxing, Erin has a complete unboxing on her channel, 2 Martini Stitcher, so you can, if you want a complete unboxing, you can watch that. Other things that I purchased this week, I finally got my first Crazy Annie's 12 Days of Christmas stocking ornament. So this is the January one. Apparently what happened was she had so many new people, it took her almost the entire month to get them all out to everybody. I'm not mad. It showed up, it's here, it's in my hot little hands. I got lots of goodies. I got the trim, I got the beads, and I got the black linen fabric. So I don't know when I'm gonna start working on that, but that's another thing that I really wanna get to. Other thing that showed up is my very first Erica Michaels berry that is part of the berry SAL that Helen D is doing. So I have winter berries in my hot little hand along with some of the pins. So that showed up. The next thing, this is something that I've been just itching to start, and I received the spring notes from Shepherd's Bush and along with the button pack. So this also is something that I want to start probably in March. I feel like I've got enough things going on in February that might move to March. So that came in. The other thing that showed up, I was totally enabled by Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw. She showed some little pillows that she had made picking little vignettes out of this Prairie Schooler button up pattern, and she did a color conversion. If you want that color conversion, head over, watch Michelle's FlossTube, and she references the gal that she got it from. So it's a bit of a rabbit trail, but you can find it. And I just loved it. She replaced the reds and the greens with kind of blues, and so they don't look as Christmassy, they look more wintry. So I definitely want to do some of these too. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much stitching. There's so much stitching. I don't know how I have time to go to work, right? Then the other thing, this, I just love this. My dear husband, I was talking about a pattern that I had stitched years ago by the Drawn Thread, and we were kind of looking on Instagram. I was trying to find that pattern to show him, and somehow he saw this, the button tree, and he showed it to me, and he said, "Do you like that?" And I'm like, "I love that." He figured out how to buy it, do a PDF download, and he presented it to me like an hour later. This is so sweet of him. So I definitely need to start working on this as well. And that finally is all of my haul. So I had a lot of haul this week. Hopefully I won't have any haul next week. Although my Bird Crush Club is probably coming next week. So, but that's, you know, that's a planned for expenditure. So it's not like I just, you know, had a wild hair and off I traveled. Okay, I think we have chatted long enough, but I did want to ask you guys a question, and I thought it would be fun. Maybe to spark a little dialogue, because I always love it when I get comments from you, my faithful viewers. I was wondering, did you start anything in January? Did you have a new start in January? And if so, what was it? What did you start in January? I went and looked back at my calendar, and I actually had 2 starts in January. One was the Old Reg Across for Mom, and the other one was a Valentine's Day Mill Hill kit. So I actually had 2 new starts in the month of January. But what did you do? Did you have a new start? Leave me a comment and tell me. I would love to know what you started. Okay, and then the very, very, very last thing is this last weekend, I attended the Acorns Gathering Zoom virtual retreat, and Loohoo Stitches was our designer for the exclusive pattern for that retreat. Now, I think this is adorable. I think it is fantastic, and I loved listening to her talk about how she became a designer and, you know, all those things. She's just delightful. However, you guys, I looked at this and I thought, it's great. It's a fantastic pattern. I know that I'm going to set it aside because there's other things I want to stitch more. and I'm afraid I will probably never get around to stitching this, despite the fact that it's super, super cute. So I thought what I would do is I would pass this on to one of you. So if you would like this chart by Loohoo Stitches, it's an exclusive. You can't buy it anywhere at this point. Exclusive from the Acorn Gathering 2022. Leave me a comment and use the word acorn. Put acorn in your comment that you would like this, and I will pass this along to one of you. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Don't forget, I have a link to a Google form. Please add your name and your address in that form, because when I pick a winner, I just check to see if I have your mailing address. And if your name is different than whatever handle you use on YouTube, whoa, words are hard, on YouTube, make sure you cross-reference that. On my giveaways, just make sure you're 18, so you can legally give me your address. Please don't use the word giveaway or freebie or any of that stuff. And whoever I pick, I'll send this to you. I'm just going to put it in an envelope with a couple of stamps and off it'll go. So if you'd like this, acorn is your word. All right. I think that's enough chatting from me today. I will see you next FlossTube. Have a great stitching week. Stitch happy, my friends, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.